welcome to online class. In this class, we shall discuss about the with new adjustments related to the sacrifice ratio. In the first video, we have to discuss about the ratios, and in that we have to learn about the if old ratio is given, instead of that surrender share is given. During that time, we have to calculate the sacrifice ratio by following few steps. Next is the second case, when old share or old ratio and a new ratio both are given. During that time also, we have to follow some step. We have to calculate the sacrifice ratio. But in this class, we have to calculate sacrifice ratio with new things, new adjustments they are given. That is, when old ratio is given, new partner share is given, not ratio, new partner share is given, and also remaining aggregate share is given. During that time, how we have to calculate the sacrifice ratio. Let's come to the third case, the heading. When
old ratio
of old partners are given,
and
the
share of new partners are given, and also states that in a bracket the new
states that
in which remaining share is remaining share is shared by the old partners.
Shared by the old partners. This is the case number 3. In the third case, first, when old ratio of old partners are given, already they are given ratio, not a share of old partner. Instead of that, when the share of new partners are given, the new partner has entered into the business. For them, the partners, the aggregate old partners has to given certain share, that is 1/4 share, 1/6 share, 1/8 share. So that is the portion of the new partner share is given. And also, instead of that, they are given one more thing here, states that in which remaining share shared by the old partners, that is nothing but agreed share they are given. See here, first old share is given, new partner share is given, and agreed share. When these three things are given, during that situation, how we have to calculate the sacrifice ratio? For the sake of calculation of sacrifice ratio, we have to follow 3 steps in the case number 3. So first point we have to write down as a no. Point number 1.
In this case, first we have to calculate the remaining share. Second point.
Point number 2.
Then we should multiply the remaining share between old partners in agreed share to get new sacrifice share is calculated by subtracting new share from old share.
So this is the steps with which we have to calculate the sacrifice ratio. In first two cases, we won't follow any steps. Directly we have to calculate the sacrifice ratio with given information. But in case number 3, they are given 3 values. So one is the old share or old ratio they are given in the question. Step number 2, they are given the new partner share is given, and also in the third point what they are going to given is they are given the agreed share which is shared between the partners. If these 3 things, 3 values, 3 adjustments which is given in the question means we can assume that that entire question belongs to case number 3. So if these 3 things are gathered and given in the question means how we have to calculate the sacrifice ratio means by following 3 steps. In the step number 1, in this case first we have to calculate the remaining share. So first basically we have to calculate the remaining share. How the remaining share is calculated means by deducting 1 minus the new partner's share, then we have to get the remaining shares. In the step number 1, first we have to calculate the remaining share. Step number 2, we have to calculate new ratio or new share of old partners, that we have to calculate it. How this new share is calculated means it should be multiplied with the remaining share between the old partners in agreed to get new ratio. Agreed share is given. Instead of that remaining share we have to calculate in the step number 1. Both we should be multiplied. We will get new ratio we have to get. That is step number 2. In the step number 3 we have to calculate sacrifice ratio. Already we know that what is the formula to calculate the sacrifice ratio. So sacrifice ratio is equal to old ratio minus new ratio. So then we have to get the sacrifice ratio. Now finally in the step number 3 we have to calculate the sacrifice ratio. So these 3 steps we have to follow means it is very easy to calculate the sacrifice ratio. This is the exact thing they are given. Let's move to the particular question related to this case, the case number 3. So question number 1. Rocky and Jockey
are partners sharing profits and losses.
Partners sharing profit and losses
In the ratio
of
7:5.
ratio of 7:5. Full stop. They admit Vicky
and give him
1/4 share
and Rocky and Jockey agreed to share the remaining share in the ratio of
in the ratio of
2:1.
2:1. Full stop. Calibrate.
Sacrifice ratio of Rocky and Jockey.
sacrifice ratio of
Okay.
Rocky and Jockey. So this is the question they are given. With the help of this question, we have to follow 3 steps to calculate the sacrifice ratio. So here question simply they are given. First we have to read the question. We have to analyze the question and what the things they are given. Just we have to make it as our particular note. Let's come to the question. Rocky and Jockey, they are the old partners. Sharing profit and losses in the ratio of 7:5. So 7:5 they are given. Then how we have to convert it into ratio means 7 plus 5. We will get one value 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 7 by 12 for one partner and 5 by 12 for one partner. So this ratio we should be considered as a old ratio. Already they are given in the question. In the beginning itself, old ratio they are given. They admit Vicky as a new partner. So here the new partner is Vicky and give him 1/4 share. So this will be considered as a new partner share. It is not a new ratio. New partner share they are given. The second thing, this value will not given in the previous 2 steps or 2 problems, but in this problem they are given new partner share they are given. And Rocky and Jockey agreed to share remaining in the ratio of, here they are given agreed. So it will be considered as a very important thing in this question, that is considered as a agreed share, that we are going to remaining share in the ratio of 2:1. This will be considered as a agreed ratio, agreed share they are given. So we have, with the help of this information, we have to calculate the sacrifice ratio of both Rocky and Jockey. So this is the information which is available in our question. With the help of this, we have to calculate the sacrifice ratio by following 3 steps. So here, step number 1, what it will say? In this case, first we have to calculate remaining share. Step number 1, always we should calculate remaining share. Step number 2, we should multiply the remaining share between old partners in agreed share. So what the remaining share we have to get in the step number 1, that will be multiplied with the new agreed share between the partner. Then we have to get new ratio. In the step number 2, we will calculate the new ratio. Step number 3, we should calculate sacrifice ratio. How we have to calculate this? By subtracting new share from the old share. What the old share given in the question, in that share we have to deduct new share which is calculated in the step number 2. We should deduct it. We will get the new ratio. That ratio will be considered as a sacrifice ratio. Let's we have to move to the solution about this question by following a particular steps related to the exact question. First we have to note down the given information, what they are given. First we have to calculate the bifurcate the information what they are given. First given name of partners. So here 3 partners are there. First partner is Rocky, second partner Jockey, third partner Vicky. First, what they are given? Old ratio. For first partner 7, second partner 5, third partner 1. They don't have any share. In the step number 1, first given information we have to record it, and also new partners share they are given. New partners share. That is, here new partner is Vicky. For Vicky they are given 1/4 share they are given for Vicky. So that is the information which is available in our question. Instead of that, extra one more thing they are given, that is called as a agreed share. Agreed share. That is first partner 2, second partner 1, third partner hyphen. They won't have any information about the new partner. Finally, we have to calculate sacrifice ratio. Sacrifice ratio we have to calculate it. That is question mark, which is not available in our question. So this is the information which is available in our question. First we have to gather the information. Later we have to move to the steps to calculate the sacrifice ratio. So already we know that we want to calculate the sacrifice ratio. So for example, sacrifice ratio is equal old ratio minus new ratio. This is the formula with which help we have to calculate the sacrifice ratio. Old ratio which is available in our question, that is 7:5 they are given, but new ratio which is not available. If directly both the values they are given in the question, means we should directly implement the formula like we have implemented in the last videos, that is case number 2. Old ratio and new ratio is given, means we should directly implement it. But old ratio is given, new ratio is not given. Instead of this, agreed share is given, new partner share is given. So extra 2 informations are available in our question. So we have to follow some particular steps. So let's come to the calculation of new ratio. Later we have to deduct it from the old ratio to get the sacrifice ratio. For the calculation of this, we have to follow 2 steps. First, step 1. Step number 1. Calculation of remaining share. So in the note itself, I have to express that. So first, in the step number 1, we have to calculate the remaining share of partners. So as their business. So here, remaining share is to be calculated by multiplying new partners share. Here, while we have to get the remaining share, we should deducting the value and it should be multiplied with the new partner share, that is 1/4 share from 1. By deducting the value from 1, should be multiplied, then we will get the remaining share. Therefore, remaining share is equal 1 minus 1/4. 1/4 is new partner share. This 1, it should be considered as a common frequency to calculate the remaining share. One number is not available in our question. We have to implement this one as per the accounting rule. We should deduct this 1 minus 1/4. Then we have to get the remaining share. Therefore, remaining share is equal, which should be multiplied by denominator to left hand side. First, we should be considered as a remaining share is equal. So 4 ones are 4 minus 1 ones are 1 divided by 4. We should consider as a base. So what the value will be available in the denominator, that denominator will be considered as a base. Therefore, remaining share is equal 4 minus 1, 3 divided step number 1. So I'll explain once again how we have to calculate the remaining share. Means remaining share is multiplied the new partner's share, that share from 1. So what the 1 is nothing but the value is not available in our question. We only imagine the frequency 1. We won't imagine 2, 3, 4, 5 and something. We have to imagine only 1 is the particular number that only we have to detect it. So remaining share is equal 1 minus 1 by 4. This is the exact criteria with which we have to calculate the remaining share. Therefore, remaining share is equal 1 minus they are given. No? So during that time, we have to cross multiply denominator to left hand side. Then we have to move to the multiplication. So 4 ones are 4 we have to get, minus as it is the symbol they are given. Again 1 ones are 1 we have to get. The denominator, what the frequency which is available, that only we should consider as a base. Therefore, by simplifying this one, 4 minus 1, 3 divided by, as it is 4 we have to carry forward. Therefore, remaining share is equal 3 by 4 is the remaining share that we have to calculate as step number 1. Let's come to step number 2. Step number 2. So in the step number 2, what we have to calculate is calculation of new ratio. Calculation of new ratio. So step number 2, we have to calculate a new ratio. How to calculate the new ratio means in the note, second point it will express that new ratio is calculated by multiplying remaining share and agreed share of old partners. What the old partners are given are available, that is Rocky and Jockey for this. So agreed share is given, that is 2:1 is given. So that we should be multiplied with the remaining share. What the remaining share we have to write, based on that we have to multiply the remaining share. So here the new ratio of Rocky is equal. So we only implemented the formula. That means
new ratio is equal to
new ratio is equal agreed share into remaining share. Agreed share into remaining share. So this is the formula. Agreed share should be multiplied with the remaining share. We will get new ratio. Therefore, new ratio of Rocky is equal. Agreed share which is available in our question 2:1. So 2 by 3, 1 by 3 is available. Therefore, 2 divided by 3 into the multiplication symbol they are given in the middle of the fraction. We should write multiplication symbol. And also remaining share that we have calculated in the step number 1, that is 3 divided by 4. 3 divided by 4. So this will be considered as a agreed share. So here we want new share. So the formula is agreed share into remaining share is given. Therefore, agreed share is 2 by 3 into 3 divided by 4. Now we have to simplify this one. If there is a minus or plus they are given, addition or subtraction symbol is given in the middle of the both the fraction, we will make them to cross multiplication on denominator. Whether it is cancelled means we should cancel. But here the symbol multiplication symbol is given between the two fractions. During that time, directly we have to multiply with numerator to numerator and denominator to denominator. We will get the new ratio. So, new ratio of Rocky is equal 2 into 3 and 3 into 4. We will get exactly new ratio. Therefore, 2 3s are 6 divided by 3 4s are 12. The new ratio of Rocky is equal 6 divided by 12. Let's come to the calculation of new ratio of second partner Jockey. is equal, again we have to implement the formula, agreed share into remaining share. Therefore, new ratio of jockey is equal, agreed share is 1/3 we have to get, 1 divided by 3 into, as it is multiplication symbol, remaining share which is calculated in the step number 1, that is 3 divided by 4. Now we will make the multiplication. So 1 into 3 and 3 into 4 we have to get. Therefore, new ratio of jockey is equal, 3 ones are 3 divided by 3 fours are 12. Therefore, new ratio is 3 divided by 12 for second partner. So in the step number 2 we have to calculate a new ratio. How the new ratio is calculated? That is, new ratio is equal, so agreed share into remaining share. Agreed share which is available in our question. The remaining share we should calculate it in the step number 1. The agreed share is 2/3 and into the new remaining share is 3 divided by 4. Therefore, the symbol multiplication is there. Whenever in the middle of the two fractions multiplication symbol will come into the formula, we should directly multiply with numerator to numerator, denominator to denominator. Directly we have to multiply. Instead of multiplication symbol, any addition, any subtraction symbol has came between these two fractions. We will make them to cross multiplication, numerator to denominator and the denominator to the numerator. Then we have to get a particular ratio. That formula will be applicable in the case number 2. In the case number 3, in the step number 2, we won't have that direct method. We should directly we have to calculate the new ratio. Then the first partner new ratio is 6/12. The second partner new ratio is 3 divided by 12. So step number 2 is completed. Number 1, we should calculate remaining share. Number 2, we have to calculate the new ratio. In the step number 3, we have to calculate sacrifice ratio. Sacrifice ratio is equal old ratio minus new ratio. So here first we have to calculate sacrifice ratio of Rocky is equal old ratio which is available in our question, that is 7 divided by 12 minus, as it is the symbol is given, minus as it is the formula, minus new ratio we are calculated for first partner 6 divided by 12. Both the denominators will having an equal frequency. So 12 ones are it is cancelled, or else we should consider any one should be as a base equal. Therefore, we will make them to the cross multiplication, because in the middle of the fractions the symbol is subtraction symbol is there. So we have to make them to cross multiplication. 7 ones are 7 into 1 minus, so 1 into 6. Therefore, is equal 7 ones are 7 minus 1 6 are 6 divided by 12. Therefore, sacrifice ratio of Rocky is equal 1/12. We have to get 7 minus 6 we get 1. So first we have to calculate the one partner sacrifice ratio. In the same manner, we have to calculate the sacrifice ratio of another partner, that is sacrifice ratio of jockey is equal old ratio minus new ratio. This is the formula. Old ratio is 5 divided by 12 minus new ratio we have to calculate it 3 divided by 12. 12 and 12 is cancelled. 12 ones are which is cancelled. Now we will make them to cross multiplication. So sacrifice ratio is equal 5 into 1 minus 1 into 3. Therefore 5 ones are 5 minus 3 ones are 3 divided by 12. Here 12 is the highest frequency, so we will consider as a base as a 12. Therefore 5 minus 3, 2 divided by 12. So now we have to calculate the sacrifice ratio of both the partners. So I will write here sacrifice ratio of both the partners. Final conclusion here. So sacrifice ratio of Rocky and Jockey is 1 divided by 12 is to 2 divided by 12. Now both the denominators is to be cancelled. Therefore sacrifice ratio of of Rocky and Jockey is 1:2. So this is the final answer with which we have to calculate it in this question, that is 1:2. So if the question will be asked in the case number 3, third case means we should be having 3 values, that is old ratio is there, new partner share is there, agreed share is there. If these 3 things will be available in the question means you can assume that belongs to case number 3. Only old ratio and new ratio is there means that belongs to case number 2. Old ratio and surrender share is given means that belongs to case number 1. So according to that we have to calculate the sacrifice ratio. So in the case number 3 we have to follow 3 steps with which we have to calculate the sacrifice ratio. I think you people have been understood a particular question in a particular concept. So we have to discuss one more question in the according to that we have to move to the solution. Let's come to the one more illustration with which we have to calculate the sacrifice ratio. Question number 2.
P and Q are partners.
P and Q are partners. Partners
Sharing profits and losses.
sharing profits and losses in the ratio of
2:1.
in the ratio of
2:1.
2:1. Full stop.
They admit
They admit
are
into partnership
and give him
and give him
1/6 share.
1/6 share. Full stop.
P and Q agreed to share
P and Q agreed
to share the remaining share.
Share the remaining share
in the ratio of
in the ratio of
3:2.
3:2.
Calculate
Let's start. Calculate sacrifice ratio. Calculate sacrifice ratio. This is the exact question which is available in our question. So here, first we have to read the question. We have to clarify what the things they are given. P and Q are partners sharing profit and losses in the ratio of 2:1. That is old ratio. This 2:1 what we have to consider? OR, old ratio we have to consider. That is 2/3, 1/3. They admit R, the new partner is R into partnership and give him 1/6 share. So in the question itself they are given new partners share is given, that is 1/6 share. P and Q agreed to share, they are given agreed share. The remaining share in the ratio of 3:2. So here agreed share is also given. So with the help of these 3 information we have to calculate sacrifice ratio. So So for this case, again we have to follow 3 steps only. First we have to make a note, given information. Given, what the things they are given. First we have to write name of partners. Name of partners, that is P, Q, R. So these are the 3 persons. For them, first they are given old ratio. That is for first partner 2, second partner 1, third partner hyphen, which is not given. Next, instead of that, new partner share. New partners share. That is 1/6 share they are given. Instead of this, one more thing is given, that is agreed share. That is first partners is 3, second partners is 2, the third partners is hyphen. So this is the information which they are given. With the help of this information, we have to calculate sacrifice ratio. Sacrifice ratio. This is the exact information which is available in our question. We want to calculate the sacrifice ratio. How to calculate the sacrifice ratio? Therefore, sacrifice ratio is equals old ratio minus new ratio. Old ratio minus new ratio. Old ratio which is available in our question, that is 2:1. New ratio is not available. New partners share is given. Agreed ratio is share is given, but new ratio is not given. Though we have to follow 3 steps with which we have to calculate the sacrifice ratio. So in the step number 1, what we have to calculate? Calculation of step number 1. Calculation of step number 1. Calculation of remaining share. Remaining share. Calculation of remaining share. This is step number 1. Therefore, remaining share is equal to 1 minus new partner share. New partner share. Therefore, remaining share is equal to 1 minus 1/6. That is, we have to make it to the cross multiplication. Base is 6 only. 6 ones are 6 minus 1 is equal to 5/6. Therefore, remaining share is 5 divided by 6. How this 5/6 will get made? So 1 minus 1/6, what the information is given, we have to simplify this one. How to simplify this? The symbol minus is there, means we directly should be cross multiplied. So 6 ones are 6 minus 1 ones are 1, 6 minus 1, 5. The base 6 is there, the same we have to consider as a base. So that is 5 divided by 6. This is step number 1. Let's come to step 2. Calculation of new ratio. Calculation of new ratio. In the step number 2, we have to calculate a new ratio. So for the calculation of new ratio, we have a formula is equal agreed share into remaining share. This is the formula. With the help of this, we have to calculate new ratio. So agreed share, which is available in our question, that is 3:2. They are given. Remaining share, we have to calculate in the step number 1. By gathering these two information, we have to complete step number 2. We want new ratio of first partner is P is equal, agreed share they are given, that is 3 divided by 5 into, symbol is multiplication symbol, remaining share is 5 divided by 6. That is, when the symbol multiplication symbol has came between the two fractions, means we will multiply directly numerator to numerator, denominator to denominator, that is 3 into 5 and 5 into 6. New ratio of P is equal 3 5s are 15 divided by 6 5s are 30. The new ratio of P is equal 15 divided by 30. So in this manner we have to calculate new ratio of Q is equal, again we should write the formula, agreed share into remaining share. Therefore, agreed share is 2 divided by 5 into the remaining share we should calculate it 5 divided by 6. Therefore, again we should be multiplied 2 into 5, 5 into 6. New ratio of Q is equal to 5s are 10 divided by 6 5s are 30. That is 10 divided by 30. Step number 2 we have to complete it. The step number 1 we should calculate it remaining share. Step number 2 we should calculate it new ratio. Now we have to move to the step number 3, that is we have to calculate the sacrifice ratio. So sacrifice step number 3, calculation of sacrifice ratio. We have to calculate it. Now we have to write down the formula. Sacrifice ratio is equal old ratio minus new ratio. Now just once again go to the question. Old ratio which is available in our question. New ratio we should calculate it in the step number 2. With the help of this 2 we have to calculate sacrifice ratio. Therefore, sacrifice ratio of P is equal. So old ratio, that is 2 divided by 3 minus the new ratio we have to calculate the step number 4, 15 divided by 30. Both they are given. Let's see the denominators. Both the denominators should be cancelled by a single table. So here 3 1s are 3, 3 10s are 30. It is cancelled. Suppose denominators will not be cancelled, means we should multiply the denominator, that will be considered as a base, and the remaining frequency we have to make them into the cross multiplication. Therefore, so 10 2s are 10 into 2, comma 1 into 15 divided by 30 only we should be considered as a base because the highest frequency is 30. Therefore, 10 2s are, that is 10 2s are 20 minus 15 1s are 15 divided by 30. Sacrifice the ratio of P is equal to 20 minus 15, 5 divided by 30 is the sacrifice ratio of P. So say we have to calculate the sacrifice ratio of Q is equal old ratio minus new ratio. As it is, we should write the formula. Sacrifice ratio is equal old ratio which is available in our question, that is 1 divided by 3 minus new ratio is 10 divided by 30. 3 tens are 30. Therefore, we should multiply 10 into 1 into 10 into 1. Therefore, denominator base is again 30. 10 minus 10 divided by 30 we have to get. So, 0 divided by 30. Therefore, sacrifice ratio is equal 5 by 30 is to 0 by 30. 30 cancel. Sacrifice ratio of both the partners is 5 is to 0 by 30. Right. So, this is the second question. I think both two questions has been understood by you people. With the help of this, you people have to make the new imagination values and you have to calculate the sacrifice ratio. In the next video, we have to move to the one new topic, that is new profit sharing ratio with different cases in the next video. Thank you.